What's up, guys? So today is another day right after I started taking everything apart, which you're probably gonna see right after this. Just because I didn't start filming until after I started cutting, so it's just a little clip of me just cutting through, and you can see right in the background the actual gasket right here. You know, that's what broke trying to cut it or whatever. So as you're going to see is that, like I told you before, I'm going to, or what you're about to see now, is that I'm installing this, the original gasket that came on the stock Genesis Turbo, and I'm going to be mocking up the stock cat, which is over here. So I'm going to get ahead and start putting this back together. Like I said, I'm not really satisfied with this, and I don't want to do it, but to pass inspection, you know, this is what New Jersey calls for. So I will be using that stock cat, and I'll just be mocking it back up with my tubular manifold, which before, when I first bought this thing, this is a eBay manifold. It's a CX Racing, not totally eBay, CX Racing manifold. And you know, there's a problem on YouTube where saying that these bolts or the manifold itself does not line up the greatest. Which is 100% true, but any person like me or is willing to put the time in to make it fit, this thing so far is great. I mean, I haven't had it on for a few thousand miles, but I mean, I don't know how the cracking or the actual welds will hold up. You can see they kind of like went a little overboard. Sorry, give me a second. Yeah, you can see they kind of went a little overboard there, but besides that, it's not that bad. Right here, you can zoom in there too. When you're trying to put a bolt through this hole, yes, it does make it a little bit difficult. So what I went ahead and did, and as you check over here, yes, I actually just started denting this in. No, I don't care. I probably dented it a little more. Right, like right now is a good clearance, which I'll probably have to do a little bit more denting, which I didn't do for one of these holes. When you actually put it on the turbo itself, one I think is this one, the actual bend, it's so close to the hole, you can't get any type of bolt in there. That one, sorry, that hole is perfectly fine. That one works great. So it's just that imperfection, which I'm totally fine with because I'm willing to put the time in to make it work. So, you know, not to say it's giving a bad name. So any person who's actually, like, you know, into customizing and cheap stuff that works great, this is a good product. And the reason why I went with this is the CX Racing, because again, a lot of people say the turbos and stuff like that, which I'm not going to say that I will go ahead and buy the turbo, but for those of you who don't know, which probably don't know how to get, my coilovers on my Genesis are actually CX Racing also. So I had those for at least, if not 50,000 miles or more, and they hold up through drifting, stand slides, daily driving, hitting bumps. It is a soft ride, but it's also stiff. So I mean, I wouldn't compare it to BC coilovers, but I mean, for Megan Racing or what D2s, I mean, they're all about the same, and they work perfectly great. So just another video, just so you can see the inside of the welds. Again, not the best, not the worst, and for the money I paid, I would do it all again. Alright, so I got everything done. Well, not done, but I got everything off. It was a pain in the behind. You can see where things got a little, I think, a little crappy, but I finished it out. I got it on a tilt right now because when I was cutting, this way all the shavings wouldn't end up back at the turbo, so I could save as much as possible. But you can see there's a little bit on the inside, a lot on the inside. that I wanted to just clean out to make sure it doesn't get stuck up in there. But as for the housing, again, it doesn't look too pretty, but either way, I'm going to weld it back on there. You can see this is like the only bad part where I cut a little loosely. But not to say I was in a rush, but I was just trying to get it done. And I'm just going to grind those off. Of course, just like before. Oh, well, sorry. O2 housing. Again, this is going on there. But of course, just like before, when cutting it out, the gasket did not survive. Sorry. There's some other pieces there, and a few here. More of the gasket. But I got another one right here. This is the other one, which is a lot thicker and durable. To be honest, this is the OEM one that comes with the stock turbo, which is going back on there. The holes still line up, which is perfectly good. At least, yeah. I mean, they line up good enough that I'll be able to just, sorry to do this with one hand. I'll be able to just weld it back together just to make sure there's no leaks. Of course, got everything covered, inlet, you know, exhaust, exhaust, inlet, and I want to definitely clean the turbo. You can see there's like a lot of dust going on there, but I mean, nothing I can do about it. So I think I'm pretty much done today. Tools that I used, this is like a grind disc. This is all I had left. I first started out with actually a 3-inch disc, but it was kind of hard to get in to find spots, and then I switched over to my recircular saw, which finished the job quite well. The problem with the cutoff wheel was the cutoff wheel will actually cut and kind of like melt while it's cutting, which would made it worse because it's like, you know, it was like never-ending cutting. So I switched to the hacksaw, and they're like sliced right through there. Of course, did you use a great blade and not a, you know, not a cheap blade. I mean, this was like a Milwaukee blade, which is a good one. I think the other one I had was a DeWalt. So I mean, they were both good blades, and they sliced it up and got the job done quick enough. Tomorrow, I guess I'm gonna go back to installing the turbo with the stock cab back on there. Again, drive for a few miles, and then take it right back out once I pass inspection. Alright, so that's it for tonight. Just letting you guys know what's going on. Hopefully, oh, there go the manifold. Hopefully I could do something else. I'm not too sure what else I got planned for the car after I get it inspected. I want to start drifting soon, so I gotta get this thing on the road. Alright, so I guess I'll let you guys know what's going on later on. Peace. Alright, so I'm just taking a little video. It's kind of hard for me to shoot this video at this moment, but I started just denting this in. Yeah, like I said, I don't really care about the looks of it, and I'm starting to already see an improvement. I'm using my map gas torch right here, heating it up till it gets red hot, and then once it gets red hot, then I am hitting it a little bit, just banging in there, which again, I'm definitely getting a lot more clearance, so just give it a second. As I'm heating this, I'm trying to cover as most surface area as possible, so I'm kind of rotating the torch as much as possible, just trying to get every area quick as you know, just as quick as possible so I can get it done. So as you can see now, it's starting to get really hot all around, and then I'm going to just hit it But like I said, doing this with one hand is definitely hard. Alright, so this thing is definitely still steaming. Let me see if I can focus it a little bit for you guys. There we go. So it's definitely a lot more clearance there than before. And I'm not too sure. I might have to go a little bit higher on the tubular manifold. I didn't want to go too high, but not too high, but actually like further outward, right where it gets a little lower. Like right there. I'm gonna try to bring that in there. Again, it's just hard, really hard to record with one hand. This tubular manifold is getting hot, especially with me torching it or so. So I'll try to give you a little bit of an update once in a second or so. Yeah, this thing is super hot. I'm just trying to cool it off, just so I can play around with it. But right now I'm not touching that thing with it steaming like that, so it gives me a few seconds to go right back to, you know, the main reason why I took this whole thing out, which is trying to pass this New Jersey inspection. So that's all done. I mean, you can see how like really dirty all this exhaust. This is from an exhaust leak, I guess. It's just all like smoke or whatever, black smoke coming from the exhaust manifold. But because I had no gasket here, which I did order a gasket, which I'm waiting to come in. I ordered a Grim Speed gasket. They are pretty expensive, but what else can you do? The only way I can find it quick as possible. So it should be here Friday. But like I said, either way, I gotta put it back together, take it back apart. So I really don't care right now if it leaks again for another, you know, 500 miles. And probably less than that, probably like 200 miles. Alright, so I'm back to you guys, just showing you what's up. What's going on is I got everything back together, got everything bolted up and snugged as best as possible. I was not able to figure out what I want to do with this hole yet. As you can see, this is the side that I was banging in on there, and it's still not deep enough for me to get a bolt in there. I thought it would work. I probably got to go a little bit deeper in there. I got to go a little deeper in there, but I'm not much of a fan of banging in too much because, like I said, you're going to lose a lot more structure or anything like that, which, again, I'm trying to benefit most horsepower as possible. So the more restriction is less airflow with less horsepower in the end. So again, everything is snugged up. You can see I am still expecting a leak to come through here. I know for a fact it will, again, because I did not get my gasket through the mail yet. UPS is always late with the car parts for some reason. I ordered it last week, maybe a week and a half ago, and it's just not here. Again, this side, I know it's going to leak here also. Before we had this welded, and that's why I was doing all that cutting and stuff before. So as you can tell, this is not welded. There is a gasket in there, but with, you know, with not being flat as it should, it will leak. I will end up welding this again, but I'm not going to weld it to the stock housing because I will be putting, I will be installing the O2 housing back again, which is over there. So I'm going to install that back on, probably about a week or so, hopefully less than a week, actually probably this weekend, but that's to be determined. Let's see, so hopefully I might start putting this back together tonight, because I won't get home probably tomorrow till probably 9 o'clock or so, which is about 9 o'clock now, which no, it's about 8:30. So I'll probably finish this up, probably be done around 9. Not too sure how far I will get into the downpipe, or put the whole thing into the car itself, but I'll figure it out. So not to say this is the last video of this, but most likely I'm probably ending it for today, so you probably see this on YouTube or so later on. But to tomorrow I'll probably finish the project, just because I notice when I do things late at night, especially hooking things back up, things tend to get rushed, things tend to get forgotten, and I kind of don't really want to forget this thing. Don't want to forget misses, and this thing is so big. It's not like my other housing, which is tinier. So holding this thing is a little bit heavier. So I'd rather have 2 people here when I put it back in, just so I'm not dinging up my car when installing this back in there. Looking at this thing, it's so hideous and so ridiculous, and to be honest, I hate it. I can't wait for this thing to come out again, and then this way I can go straight Catless. You know, future plans, to be honest, since I gotta redo this, I'm thinking about going external wastegate and just having this all mounted up. This my stock manifold, which is down there, and also the stock turbo, which is one of them right here. I have 2 actually. Just this one has no exhaust flange, but either one will definitely work. This one's turbo is just as good, you know. Whatever, how many thousand miles on it, don't recall, just checking the play. Yeah, I mean, it's slightly, let's see if I can zoom in for that. There's like slight minimum play, which you're gonna get through most turbos. Yeah, so I mean, there is a play in there. I don't know if there's any in and out play. Let me see. No, there's like no in and out play at all. But anyways, so thinking about hooking that up and everything stock this way. When I go external wastegate on this turbo, manifold, yada yada yada. You know, I don't have to keep unwelding and cutting and stuff like that. So again, nice talking to you guys. You know, I hope you guys have a great night, just like I. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. You know, hopefully I get a good video. If I have somebody else, I can have somebody else record or something like that. But just being me by myself, working on this car, I don't want to scratch my camera. So I'd rather take it slow and just show you guys edits of what's going on. So again, peace.